Let me go to, is it Vashegan? Is it Vashegan?
Hi, Glenn.
Yes.
Vashegan, yes.
Vashegan.
Oh. How are you?
Very good. What kind of name is Vashegan, sir? Where are you from originally?
Vashegan, I go by Robert. That's my middle name. I am Armenian. I was born in the city of Yerevan in Armenia, in Republic, former Soviet Union, in 1964. We're almost same age.
Oh, wow. We are probably the same age, 1964. So you were in the former, when did you come here?
Well, I came in 1995. I transferred my business here. I had a pretty successful business in Moscow and transferred it here, came as a legal immigrant. I didn't immigrate right away. I was, by the way, invited to your program for legal immigrants. I wasn't able to make it, unfortunately. Really? Yes, I apologize.
That's all right.
I was dying to come. And I have a PhD in international and constitutional law. I speak 4 languages. One of them is Arabic and Russian. And I run a business here now with my family. We opened 2 restaurants. I went through hell. I did not ask for any handouts, didn't help. I'm a proud American now. And, I feel blessed. And I'm very scared what is going on in the United States. I was a member of Communist Party. I joined Communist Party in Soviet Union when Gorbachev became a Secretary General. I was very inspired that finally a free market will come. I was like a new blood in a party. The new generation joined. It was very big difficulties because I was considered part of intelligentsia. So we were not able to join party. Only workers' class could join. So people even were sneaking into factories, trying to work, allegedly that they're working in a factory in order to join party to pick up some perks. So that was how it was working. So out of 250 million people in Soviet Union, there were only 18 million members of Communist Party, and mostly people that actually leaders could manipulate, means, the workers in the factories. Even farmers were not able to do that because farmers for years were considered as people who are trying to get independence, means work on the land. Anyway.
Hang on just a second, Robert. May I call you Robert?
Of course.
Robert, I have to tell you, I didn't know that. I had no idea that you couldn't just join the Communist Party if you wanted to.
No, Glenn, no. To join a Communist Party, my God, it's maybe easier to become a congressman here. You can't imagine. It's very difficult. So you could have go through lots of, filtration. And I was a student in a university, state university over there, and only 2 students that year were out of 20,000 were able to join because we had straight A's and we had fantastic performance and we were in our local ROTC, etc., etc. And of course, I'm being very honest with you, straightforward. I was also, able to do that because my family had a position in the country. We were not able to just walk in and sign an application and, hey, give me that. So anyway, so both guys, myself and the other guy, we were both from what we call, privileged families. That's why we were able to do that. But I was very encouraged when I saw, because for as long as I remember myself, my family went through repression. My grandmother's brothers they were taken to concentration camp. One of them never came back. I never seen him. The other one, I knew him, and he was crippled. It's only because KGB found a historical novel from about 11th century about Armenia's fight for independence against Byzantine Empire and Persians. And the entire family were teachers, and I am an educator myself. I used to teach here in Miami and in Boca Raton. And it's horrible. And I didn't see those things, of course. I didn't went through it.
All right, hang on just a second, Robert. Have you moved into a different room or something because you're starting to break up? And I would like
No, I'm sitting in the same location.
Okay,
so I'm not moving. Yeah. So what happened is that when I heard you telling just today, because I listen to you every day, and I just purchased Overton window. I didn't get it yet through Amazon. But here what happened. When I heard you saying about, buy shortwave radios and, copiers, I said, oh my God, look at this. Here what happened. As long as I remember myself living in Soviet Union, before Gorbachev, removed all these silencing stations, we were addicted to Voice of America because we used to put those, radios, shortwave radios in our balconies, and it was very noisy. Sometimes we couldn't hear anything. But sometimes we were lucky, and, so we were listening to things. And my father, being a member of government, he was pulling me aside saying, son, let's go and listen. This is the truth where it's coming from. Don't tell anybody, but this is what we got to listen. And we were listening to all kinds of programs, medical programs, political programs, and basically we were getting more information, truthful information from Voice of America back then, in Russian, of course. It was coming in Russian, even though Russian is my second language, my first language, native language, Armenian, which I speak. But anyway, it's coming through that, and we were listening, and we knew what's going on inside of our country. And better than, of course, we could get from Pravda, Izvestia, or Komsomolsky Novosti, whatever this communist propaganda was telling.
So when you heard me today say buy shortwave radios, what did that tell you? What?
Well, that means you are basically. It's like human brain is wired the same way. So you had exactly the same reaction like I would do. Because if, God forbid, something happens here in the United States and a Marxist regime starts to oppress people, that's what, unfortunately, we have to do. But, I hope it never comes to that because I'm going to, vote in November. I hope peacefully we can, finish this nightmare. Now, another thing is that when you mentioned copying, Glenn, if you wanted to copy something in the United States, most innocent most innocent paper, like documents, something. In our university, we had one big place with a huge copier. We had to gather approximately 7 or 8 signatures from different bureaucrats. What kind of document we're copying, how many copies, what for, who requested it, etc., etc., because... And I didn't understand why. I couldn't understand. And then, my father explained to me that, son, this is because they're afraid we will, make copies of something that is Soviet propaganda or the censorship is not allowing. Things like, Solzhenitsyn's books, whatever, which was popular, anything that could criticize the communist regime. So that's what,
Robert, here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to ask you to close down your restaurants there in Miami and come live in the city of New York, where I would pay you a very low salary for you and your family, and you could live like you probably lived in the former Soviet Union. But I'd like to offer you a job. I think you are a very, very bright and useful man. I would like to get your phone number. I would actually like to talk about keeping in touch with you. Because I think experience like yours is critical for America to hear.
But wait, there's more. Not only are the living conditions horrendous and the pay low, but the hours are incredibly long. Now, how much do you want to come, Robert?
Robert, you hold on, all right?
Okay, Glenn.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's an amazing story.
Let me remind you one thing here. I know this is a side note, but let this phone call make a secondary point of how ridiculous the point is that the right is anti-immigrant. Here is a guy who is coming into our country. Thank God we have people like him in our country. This is what I've said about the idea of an Ellis Island project. We need people who come in. We need people to refresh us. We need people to remind us. We need people like this guy to kick us in the head and say, don't you know how many signatures we had to gather just to be able to copy anything? Don't you realize what you have here? We need those people. I gladly welcome immigrants in.